Hello everybody, today I will be sharing with you a life lesson that I have learned from watching an episode from the Avatar The Last Airbender. Episode 15, Balto of the Water Tribe from Season 1. And if you are having a hard time finding clarity in your life, this life lesson that I am going to share with you might be the advice or wisdom that you have been needing all along. Now, what does clarity mean? To me, clarity means when you know what you're after, when you know your target, when you know where you want to hit, when you have your target and you're aiming right at the center, and whatever's around it they're no longer distractions. The distractions are no longer distractions because you know what you're after, you know what you need to take to your road, you know what to put in your trunk and take off to your destination, and you know what not to take. To me, that is clarity. Knowing where you're going, where your thoughts are going, where your thoughts are at now, your actions. That is clarity to me. Now, after I show you the scene, I will be explaining what the message means to me and how I think this message or wisdom may be the solution to your problems in finding clarity. Gracias.
Sokka,
I'm coming with you.
you're not old enough to go to war, Sokka. You know that.
I'm strong, I'm brave, I can fight. Please, Dad.
Being a man is knowing where you're needed the most. And for you right now, that's here protecting your sister.
I don't understand.
Someday you will. I'm gonna miss you so much.
Now, before I share with you what I have learned, I would like to ask you to please share with us, the viewers, and myself, what did you learn, or what's your perspective on the message? Was your perspective on the message that I shared with you today? Or what did you think of it? And did you think it was valuable? Or are you going to apply it to your life? Now, in the scene, Sokka wants to join his father to war, but his father doesn't allow it. He says he's too young, and he tells Sokka, being a man is knowing where you are needed the most. Being a man is knowing where you are needed the most. And to me, that line is a line that I consider wisdom, that line that I consider a life lesson to my life. Why? Because if you turn that line into a question, for example, if you ask yourself, where am I needed the most? Where am I needed the most? I find that super valuable, because if you ask yourself that, and you find an answer, you now know where you could add value to somebody, to the situation, or to somebody, to the people that need you, or to whoever needs your assistance or your help. You now know where to add value, because you now know where you are needed the most. And if you now know where you are needed the most, and you find it an important if you find it important in your life, and it's more important, and you are needed more there than where you are focusing on now, why not switch to where you are needed the most? Because if you are needed the most there, you're going to add a lot of value. And if you consider it important, you're gonna feel fulfilled, because you're doing something that matters to you, something that's important to you. So you're gonna find fulfillment, and in my opinion, and you're going to add value, because where you are needed the most, you're needed there. It's not they want you there, you are needed there. And it's like a double, triple win, because you're gonna help people, and you know you're gonna make them happy, and by helping them, you're going to make yourself happy, and you're going to do what you find is important. So that is what I consider it, a life lesson, and that's why I consider it helpful in finding clarity in your life. Because let's say, for example, that you have been focusing in your life, you have been focusing on a certain direction, and you finally decide to ask yourself, where am I needed the most? And find out that where you are needed the most has been most important to you, and all this time you could have add value or focus your attention, your hard work, your time on where you were needed the most and where you found it to be more important. That's why I think that this type of perspective, or looking at things, or looking at this message this way, will help you find clarity in your life, because you know where you are needed the most, and if it's important for you, then why not make the switch and now know what to focus on. Now, if you found this video helpful, please share with somebody that might benefit from, or if somebody that you could help by sharing this video. And if you would like to learn more wisdom, I watched the whole episode. I guarantee you are going to learn more than what I shared with you. And as always, all I ask of you is to please share the story. Thank you. And my dog's name is Aeolus. Aeolus. He is a male, if you're curious. And oh yeah, well, I forgot to mention, when I said the phrase being a man is knowing what you are needed the most, woman, take off men and put woman right there in that line. This is for both. This is for everybody. So woman, where are you needed the most? Men, where you are needed the most. Apply that to yourself. Ask yourself that question and find clarity in your life. Gracias. Thank you.